One lone hand has raised up here. Actually, that is one more than I expected, I have to be honest.
Really?
Fuck no. Sorry. We are uncensored, but oh my God, the idea there's any comparison between Diana, who was the biggest star in the world.
Every scandal surrounding Meghan Markle starts the same way: a murmur, a shadow of a rumor, a barely noticeable tremor across social media. But then, without warning, it detonates. A bomb the size of Piers Morgan hits the internet, and suddenly the world catches fire. And this time, the explosion is colossal, because Piers didn't just make a comment, he unleashed a buried interview, a recording that was never meant to see the light of day. Never aired, never cited, never whispered about, until now. And this lost footage doesn't merely throw Meghan Markle under the spotlight, it ignites a blaze that refuses to be contained.
When their behavior became obnoxious, self-serving, and rankly hypocritical.
Here's the wild part. The moment the clip surfaced, Meghan reportedly went ballistic. As one insider put it, she didn't just go nuts, she detonated. So, let's rewind. How did we get here? It all started when Piers teased a personal archive project on X, claiming he'd found old recordings from interviews that were never cleared by the palace. Everyone assumed it would be harmless, a bit of royal commentary, maybe some behind-the-scenes banter.
A decision taken by the palace to stop Archie being a prince based on his potential skin color.
Nobody saw this coming. The footage is grainy, stamped with a timestamp, and undeniably real. Piers sits across from someone whose voice is muffled, whose face hidden in shadow. At first, you assume it's just a producer, a palace aide, someone behind the scenes. But then the audio shifts. The voice sharpens, crystal clear, and then comes the line. The 6 words that sent Meghan into a spiral. She always said her plan was bigger than Harry. Just 6 words. But that's all it took. 6 words that set the internet ablaze, sparking endless speculation, theories, and chaos.
Royal family or the monarchy, given that 2 of our most famous young royals have waged a 3-year war on the institution.
The royal detectives, the YouTube investigators, the commentators, the body language obsessives, they went feral. Conspiracies ignited like wildfire. Was the speaker a palace insider? A former aide? Someone who had crossed paths with Meghan in her earliest days, and then Piers drops the bombshell. This was part of an interview that we were never allowed to see. That was it. That single revelation catapulted the story from a simple tea spill to a full-blown Category 5 media hurricane. Within minutes, hashtags exploded across every corner of social media. Hashtag Megasit 2.0, hashtag Piers versus Meghan, hashtag bigger than Harry.
The media, everything that she does, they basically lambast the whole thing.
The audio was dissected like evidence in a high-stakes investigation. Some enhanced it, some slowed it down, others swore they recognized the rhythm, the cadence, the unmistakable inflection of the voice. Theories spiraled. Could it only be one of 3 people, none of whom Meghan would ever want speaking into a microphone? By lunchtime, memes had erupted. By mid-afternoon, reaction videos flooded every platform. By evening, news alerts screamed across devices, but behind the public frenzy, something far more intense was unfolding. And just like that, Meghan's team hit full panic mode. Social media, legal letters, frantic calls to networks. The chaos spiraled. The palace? Silent. Not a word. Behind those stone walls, they watched. Quietly. Calculating. Probably with popcorn. The monarchy never forgets, never forgives, and never misses a chance to watch someone dig their own grave, especially if they've already packed the shovel. Meanwhile, journalists and sleuths began hunting for the mystery voice. Was it a staffer Meghan had clashed with? A former friend? Someone from Suits? An ex-publicist? Rumors swirled that it was someone present during her transition into royal life, those pivotal months where Meghan was navigating fame, shaping her brand, merging Hollywood ambition with royal protocol. Someone who had seen the blueprint early. Someone who knew the plan. Someone who remembered everything.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon of our royal family, of the monarchy, of everything the Queen has worked so hard for, and it's all being done.
Real shock wasn't that someone claimed Meghan harbored ambition. The shock was that someone credible had said it, on tape, to a major broadcaster, and the footage had been buried. Immediately, Her lawyers went into overdrive, hunting contracts, scrutinizing every signature, tracing how the clip resurfaced, calculating if they had any legal leverage to pull it from the air. But the internet is the ultimate arbiter. Once it's out, it's out. Screenshots multiplied. Mirror sites sprouted. Backup copies proliferated like wildfire. And Meghan knew she had lost control again. Nobody asked whether the claim was true anymore. The questions had shifted. If this is nothing, why bury it? Who is shielding her? Who's finally breaking ranks? And the one question that cut the deepest: did Meghan always plan to outgrow Harry? Whispers like knives, insinuations like arrows. Even Harry's latest public expression became fuel for memes hollow, deflated, invisible. Truth didn't matter. Appearance did. In media, perception is reality. Meanwhile, Piers Morgan soaked it all in like a master strategist at the Super Bowl of grudges. On air, smirking, sipping his tea, he taunted, "You think that was the only recording? You think she told people the whole truth?" Peak Piers, messy, petty, viciously entertaining. But for Meghan, this was no show. This was war. She wasn't just fighting Piers. She was battling public perception, the palace's silent calculations, Harry's strained patience, and the gnawing fear that someone from her inner circle might already have turned. The internet exploded because if this person was talking now, it meant one thing: the old guard was breaking ranks. Meghan knew exactly what that implied. Memoirs. Interviews. Former friends selling secrets. Everything suddenly felt sharper, closer, more dangerous. By sunrise, her lawyers were firing off urgent inquiries, networks, producers, former staffers. Meanwhile, Piers reveled in every second. When questioned about the leak, he shrugged. "I didn't name anyone. The public did. Not my fault if they have good ears." Then came the line that made Meghan's team panic like never before. Leaning forward, smiling that dangerous, predatory grin, Piers said, "And now let's move to clip number 2. No preamble, no mercy." The screen cut to another grainy, unaired segment. The control room behind Piers erupted. Staff gasped. Phones buzzed. Social media detonated. The clip went viral instantly. But Meghan's team? Total lockdown. Full digital triage. Search engines monitored. Old acquaintances checked. Crisis calls ran until 3:00 a.m. Piers understood the timing perfectly. The media frenzy surged like a wildfire. Morning shows debated it. Networks normally friendly to Meghan edged away, careful with words, anticipating the storm. Commentators tore apart the phrase, "outgrow them." Was it ambition? Resentment? Strategy? A blueprint. Meanwhile, journalists investigated the insider's relationship with Meghan, digging for signs of fallout, old grudges, financial tensions. And then a twist that rattled Meghan even more. Trevor Engelson, the ex-husband whose silence had always been unnervingly perfect, suddenly surged in search trends. Not speaking publicly, not posting, but he had turned off Instagram comments the instant the clip hit, then vanished offline. Meghan knew what that meant. She knew exactly what Trevor could reveal if he chose to, and she knew exactly how much the public wanted to hear it. Multiple sources confirm her team reached out, not a friendly check-in, but a damage control, containment, crisis call. Because if one insider flipped, who else might? Piers, smelling the vulnerability like a predator, closed his broadcast with a chilling tease. We haven't even reached the real part of the interview. The internet froze. The warm-up was over. The true storm was coming. Meghan's PR operation? Total meltdown. Messages flying. Rapid-fire rebuttals. Angry headline corrections. Even loyal outlets hesitated, unsure how to defend her when the next bombshell was still hidden. By noon, reporters outside her Montecito home described a scene straight from a thriller. Security pacing, cars coming and going, lawyers arriving. Lights on in every window. Inside, the crisis meeting had one haunting question. How do you fight a ghost from the past when the world is rooting for it to speak? This clip wasn't just embarrassing. It was destabilizing. If the insider was telling the truth, if Meghan truly intended to outgrow the monarchy, then her carefully curated narrative, victimhood, innocence, naivety, began to fracture, and Piers knew it. He absolutely knew it. Moments before going off air again, he dropped the line that sent chills through every royal reporter. This story is far from over.